Once every year, Chicago holds its largest convention for fans of comic books, movies, and video games at the McCormick Center. Equipped with only an iPhone and enough sound gear on my belt to make me look like Batman,
I got all this stuff rigged to me just to capture the sound.
I documented as much as I could from my point of view at this year's C2E2. The thing that charms me the most with these conventions is the sense of community that it brings. There's no nerd shaming, just pure fun. You can walk up to just about anyone and have a conversation with them about something you want to nerd out over, whether it be video games, comic books, or sharing your own personal Star Wars grievances. What did everyone think of The Last Jedi?
The worst Jedi, thank you.
Terrible. Terrible.
Okay, so what
Ruin Johnson.
The biggest draw this year, aside from Paul Rudd and celebrity autographs, was the reveal on the final developments of Mortal Kombat 11. The game that created the infamous ESRB system is still continuing on since its 27-year debut. Watching the fans soak in on all the violence has an odd sort of euphoric feeling. The strangest thing about Mortal Kombat, however, is just how much it has impacted the lives of those who were involved since its inception. When speaking to the actors who did the motion capture for the game, they spoke about how it changed their lives.
I was like, oh my God, people are following me because they get that I'm Sonya Blade in Mortal Kombat. It was really wild. I didn't really think of myself as special at all, but it was fun.
So we were playing the Mortal Kombat game, and I chose Kano, obviously. And this little kid says to me, he goes, "Did you pick Kano because you look like Kano?" And I said, I picked him because I am Kano. But, you know, what he had said next, I did not expect. The kid was probably like 9 years old. He's like, "You're Richard DeVizio." So I was like, man, this thing's just blowing up to something huge. That's the experience I remember.
With this being a movie website, I couldn't go without at least attending one movie-based panel. And what better panel to attend than one called Movies Everyone Disagrees With You On. Conducted by YouTube's channel Awesome, it's delightful to hear crowds cheer for or against one another by just a simple mention of a film's title.
Batman v Superman.
Oh, you like it?
No, I love this. No, you don't even know what the opinion is, but someone's like, "Oh, no, he didn't."
Shut
I love it. I like
He
it.
said a movie.
The best thing about this panel was understanding why someone has a certain opinion on a film, and how their opinion can help curtail someone else's point of view on a picture.
The crowd usually boos at first, but then when they explain what they like about or don't like about it, they find out more about the person. They kind of end up agreeing or discovering things that maybe they connect with, and they find different things to connect
La La
about.
Land or The Lion King.
Yeah,
To see someone yell at a kid for not liking La La Land.
that was pretty funny.
First of all, I really hope somebody checks in with that kid that didn't like La La Land in like 10 years after his first real big heartbreak and see if he has the same. We'll see. I don't know. That's somebody else's job right now, but I think he probably will. However,
Somebody.
dude, he was like 5.
Aside from the panels, the thing I love the most about C2E2 is the enormous amount of stuff I could buy. What kind of stuff? Comic books, t-shirts, movie posters, fan art, toys, attending fierce video game competitions, and seeing all of the amazing cosplay costumes that everyone has in store. The entire convention is filled to the brim with comic books. I mean, it should anyways. It's called the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo after all. You could see anything from ultra-rare comics that run up into the thousands of dollars in worth, to comics from your grandfather's days, to the comics of today. If you love the art of comic books, there are stunning bits of comic book art available at your disposal, even though it was a bit too rich for my blood. Of course, my main draw are the toys. Before I do anything else, I have to satisfy my vice. I gotta get myself some toys. There are toys from everything. X-Men, Spider-Man, lots of Batman, which is my number one love.
I was like, yes, 1989 Batman, but then look at this. He's purple. When is this like, did Joel Schumacher come in and spray paint this himself?
To anything you could think of. As you may notice, a running thing of C2E2 is nostalgia. If you ever regretted throwing away that toy or that comic book from your childhood, you may find it once more here. If you remember a television show from when you were a kid, well, there's no shortage of those. And of course, there's no mentioning a comic book convention without once more bringing up the cosplay. Make no mistake, this isn't Halloween in the beginning of spring. This is Halloween on steroids. The sheer amount of work that goes into these outfits is staggering. The creativity of the outfits range from the accurate to the cool.
Wait, is there a person in there? There's a person in there.
To the, let's just say bizarre. This place is massive. You'll feel like you're doing a 3-day marathon, not only with the showroom floor, but the amount of panels happening simultaneously. You'll have to be selective about which one you'll want to attend. By the time I reached the end of my second day, I was off my feet. On my long way back home, I knew I had to squeeze in at least one more day. For my final panel, I attended The Woman of Marble. The panel consisted of various artists discussing their works, how the world of comic books is finally beginning to become more diverse, and how much it meant to them to be included in this world. Seeing a more inclusive world of comics is something that brings absolute joy to my heart. It's no longer just a man's sandbox to play in.
As comics just evolve and people just start making comics that are their own experiences, then people will see people that look like them and join the party. There's enough room for everyone.
Before I finally departed, I spoke to a lot of the fans and entertainers about why an event like this is so important to them.
Just realizing that, hey, I have this interest in this nerdy, weird thing, and hey, look, that person does too. And then you get to learn about everybody else's crazy interests, and then it's all fun, and you know, it just brings people together to see that you have that inner child still, you know, your whole life.
The beautiful people, all the beautiful people. It's like a big family experience with, you know, the cousins you never met.
I think it's the way it brings a community together, and I think it's the way it provides a creative expression outlet for people who feel like they don't get one in their day-to-day lives.
And I like the diversity, and I like the empowerment that you know, Star Wars and comic books bring to people. You know, you can be a Jedi, you can be a pilot, you can be a hero, and it doesn't matter who you are or, you know, how you identify or what color you are.
Growing up on the south side of Chicago in the hood where there was a lot of gang violence, I couldn't go outside a lot of times. So I wanted to have something to keep myself entertained. And so that's where comic books came into my life. And so you follow the stories and you become connected to the characters. You want to see that next issue the next week. And you want to keep knowing and keep growing with it. And so I think that's for a lot of people. It's escapism where they can't leave their house, they feel ostracized by society, or they just don't feel comfortable. You know, and now to know that comic books are so popular, the nerd genre has exploded, and you can be yourself around people, especially at a place like this. That's the most beautiful thing about comic books, what they started and what they're continuing to do.
Thank you for a bizarre, exhausting, and amazing time, C2E2. I'll see you again next year.